Hello, everyone. good evening, and happy Sunday to all of you. I am Christina Garrett, your productivity coach, here tonight because, y'all, I haven't been live in a minute. I have not been live in a minute. I have been moving and shaking. My family and I, well, my husband and I traveled to Baltimore this week for the National Baptist Conference, our convention. Came back and family members started dropping with little coughs and little sniffles and things. Thankfully, we're a COVID-free home, but we've just been having certain things popping up with change of weather. And I realized that because it's Sunday, one of my favorite things to do is to give us some very practical tidbits, a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of strategy as we prepare to go into a very busy week. Okay. I'm taking a second to make sure that I'm live in all the places. And I'm really looking forward to doing a little bit of teaching out of one of my favorite books called The 10X Rule. Okay, the 10X Rule. If you are new here, if you haven't caught me live in a while, I am Christina Garrett. I am your productivity coach, a resource for ambitious women in leadership, those who are striving to create a healthier work, life, and rest balance. Here in this community, we are all things time management. We are all about earning more, resting more, and being more consistent in our endeavors. And we are very passionate about making sure that all the places in your life where you're called to show up, you have the tools and the strategies to do exactly that. This live today is brought to you by the MOM-entum Conference, a gathering of ambitious women of faith being held in Atlanta, Georgia, October 25th through the 27th, a full weekend event where we worship together, we workshop, we turn up a little bit. We have a lot of amazing sessions, networking, food, live music. It is an experience unlike any other. From what you all have told me, not my own words, women who come say that the event has changed their life and they feel like they have finally found their people. And so we would love to have you all come and join us in Atlanta next month. If you are local, please slide in my DMs. If you're willing to hop on a flight and join the divas in Georgia, then do that as well. But I really want to make sure that we have the right type of women, the right alignment there, because we are going places. And I'm really excited about what God is doing in our community and what you being there and being a part represents. Okay. So I am going to make sure that all of my settings and everything are good. I'm thrilled about what God is doing. I'm excited about how He is working to transform us. Okay. What we're going to talk about tonight about taking action is really important because, believe it or not, it's about to be the holidays. And as crazy as it sounds, as overwhelming as it might even feel, it doesn't seem like we should be preparing for the fall, but the weather's changing. I put my hand outside, Kev on stage style this morning, and I said, oh my goodness, it feels fallish in the air. And so because we are feeling this way, because we're seeing a difference in our and how we're doing some things, what we really want to make sure we do is analyze and take notation of what's working and what's not working as we slide into the fall months and quarter four. Okay, and quarter four. So as I plot and plan more content and information as we plan our upcoming Mamathon Mastermind, I want to make sure that you feel invited to be a part of the upcoming initiatives that we're creating, starting with the conference, and then the mastermind is going to open up in a couple months. Okay, so I am ready. I am excited. Let me go live in my group too. All right, guys, tonight for just a little while, for a few minutes, we're going to be talking on a particular point, a particular chapter from this amazing book, The 10X Rule, okay? Regardless of the type of person that Grant Cardone is, he's very interesting, but he has some really, really, really amazing, solid knowledge for those of us who are working on growing and developing and shifting and changing. He is one of the best, okay, for showing us how we can allocate and do some things in a different way. And so this book has been very powerful for me, and I tend to go back to and lean on this book again and again because he has some really amazing notations here, okay? In chapter 7, he talks about 4 degrees of action. Good evening. He talks about 4 different types of action, okay? In our lives, we are all taking action, no matter if you're in turbo mode or if you are sliding and just doing it the good old fashioned way. We are all in turbo mode. We're all taking action in some type of way. The question is, what kind are you taking? The question is, what kind of action are you taking? Hi, Janisha. When we have to meditate on what our next step is, when we're having times of doubt or uncertainty, when you are praying and asking God to tell you, show you, deliver to you this rhema word from on high, you're looking for the next big thing, you're still taking a type of action even while you wait. Okay, even while you wait. I am a firm believer and a confident fan of assessing and doing some troubleshooting on if something is working, if it's not working, and what we need to do differently as we plan. Okay. Whether you're just thinking for this current week and you're in survival mode trying to make it through this current week, or you're thinking about the rest of the year. It's about to be the holidays. It's about to be the holidays. Okay. Thanksgiving is upon us. Our family group chat is going off. They're talking about where we gathering for Christmas. Wait a minute, Christmas? So we have to do this assessment. We have to think about it. Good evening, everyone. We have to think through, like, what kind of action am I taking? Now, I'm going to tell you something. One of my amazing clients, we were talking about how sometimes we end up feeling a type of shame, okay, as the new year comes upon us, as the holidays come upon us, because we realize, did I take the kind of action I said I was going to take throughout the year? Did I do what I said I was going to do throughout the year? Was I someone who followed through? Was I someone who said that she was going to accomplish something and she did it? Okay. Every year when I host the MOM-entum conference, for me, it is the ultimate finish line. It's the ultimate finish line. Good evening, ladies. It's the ultimate finish line. It's like I plan it. I put so much work and effort and love into pouring into our ladies and our attendees and giving them this really amazing experience and all this good stuff, right? It's my ultimate finish line. My children see me come home joyful, glowing, exhausted after being gone for 4 days. And I say, all of the work that I have done, look what was created. I say, you guys see all the beautiful women, black and brown, and we have a very fair-skinned sister that glides through from time to time. It's my finish line. So the question is for you this year, what's going to be your finish line? And what type of action are you taking to make it happen? Hey, ladies, what kind of action are you taking to make it happen? Sis, we are excited to have you. I'm so glad you slid in my DMs swiftly. You got that ticket. I had a couple, 2 clients who are unable to make it for mom-related reasons. And I said, well, let me gift these spots away. And tell me if I'm saying your name correctly. Jonesy, tell me phonetically how to say your name. So when I see you and hug you, I say it the right way. But she was one of the ladies that slid into my DMs and grabbed one of those spots, okay? So the question is always, as we approach quarter four, as we approach the end of the year, are we taking action? John C. Thank you. I'm going to make sure I have it right. Are we taking the kind of action we said we would? One of the hardest things for us to do is own up to if you're not. Like, let's just be honest with ourselves. For us to say, I want this so bad. I'm willing to do anything. God, if you can use anything, you can use me. Lord, have your way. I'll do what it takes, Lord. We say that in worship and praise on Sunday morning. And then by the time we get home on Sunday night and we look at the laundry pile and the work that it takes, we're ready to wave the white flag and go take a nap. Isn't it amazing? As soon as you sit down to do some really hard work, you get sleepy. Isn't it amazing that when you're ready to really focus in and do exactly what you said you were going to do, you start to recognize the laundry pile, the kitchen that needs to be cleaned, the spouse that needs something that they could probably do some other time. It's not even all that important, but it feels really important because you really don't want to do the other thing. Doesn't it happen just like that? Have you ever pondered in your mind, why is it this way? What is going on? I am a firm believer that often when we're approaching a finish line, you can take different types of actions. John C. said, there's all of that right there. No lie. Right now, in the kitchen, laundry on the couch. It's all there. Calling our names. Isn't it important? Isn't the Proverbs 31 woman, isn't she supposed to be handling her business, right? At home first? I want to make sure all of these things are together. Wait a minute. So we're going to just talk for a few minutes about different types of action. I just want you to troubleshoot on yourself. I want you to troubleshoot on yourself and make the determination about what type of action you're taking towards that thing that you said you wanted. Now, I want you to keep this little piece in your mind. Okay? Keep this little thing in your mind. And I told one of my clients this maybe 2 weeks ago. I told her, I said, listen, I'm in different people's lives for different reasons. Some of my clients need support with speeding up. Some of my clients need support with speeding up. I've had a client who was running for public office. And she was like, Christina, I'm a mom of 3. I don't have the stamina. I don't know if I can go back and run again based off of my current capacity. So our pouring into her was for her to speed up. I have clients who have life-changing, transformational business ideas. And they wanted to get more media attention or, homeschool while they develop their multi-six-figure business. They have all these different things going in and out, right? So for some clients, I'm here to help you speed up. Some of you guys are here just on this live, or you come to the conference to get the motivation to speed up. That might be why I'm in your world. To remind you it's possible. And yes, you can still lay on your chocolate husband. And yes, you can still hug on and love on your amazing children while you do it. Okay? All of those things are possible to you. Yes, you can delegate. Somebody asked me the other day, like, how do you have such long nails? And you're like a stay-at-home, like you're a work-at-home mom. And I was like, baby, I don't wash dishes anymore. I have 3 teenagers. I am retired from kitchen days until they leave. I'm retired, okay? We delegate around here. So some places in your life, I'm here. And I want us to listen to what I talk about tonight from this lens. As we prepare for the conference, October 25th through the 27th in Atlanta. If you ain't got your ticket, why? What are you doing? Okay? From this place, you may need to listen to think about how you'll speed up. Yeah? Some of us know we're napping on the thing we're supposed to do. Some of us know you're supposed to send that follow-up email. Okay. John C., we started delegating to children when they were tiny. And I'll maybe some other day I'll talk about how I was like deathly ill. And while I was in the hospital, my husband taught my 2-year-old how to clean and stuff while while I was in the hospital. And I came home from the hospital and was like, what just happened? So there are these different varying seasons. Okay. So I want you to listen from this lens. Some of us need to speed up. Okay. Some of us need to grab our thing by the horns and run full steam ahead. And some of my clients, I'm in their life to help them slow down. Some of my clients, I'm in their life to slow them down. And we don't really know which one it is until we get into the trenches of one-on-one coaching and we're talking every week. And it's like, okay, what's happening in your universe? You know, did you do what you said you were going to do? Did you show up in your brand, go live? Are you working on your dissertation? Are you coming back to social media without an addiction, but you know that all your clients for your hair business or your social media business or whatever come from social media? You might have to show up and not, right? So there's these different places. Some of us need to speed up. Others need to slow down. Okay. And since I'm not at the moment on a one-to-one call with you, Mama, you're going to have to use your discretion. Good evening. You're going to have to use your wisdom and your intuition to determine which one is for you. And of course, when you're ready to talk about coaching and you feel like, Christina, I know what I want to accomplish, but I'm not sure how, or I have some imposter syndrome that creeps up, or my business and my marriage or family are kind of going back and forth. I don't know how to turn off. I want to earn more, but I want to take naps. That's when you come to the discovery call and we talk about your dreams and your goals and what kind of care you need in order to make that happen. Okay. All right. So the book I'm reading these notes out of is the 10X Rule. Everybody see that? 10X Rule looks just like this. One of my favorite books. Grant Cardone is, from what I see, not a Christian. Okay. Grant Cardone's not a Christian. He's not a man of color, even though he tries to fake it every now and then. Okay. He is a man whose wife most likely stayed home and handled all the things and did all the stuff while he was out selling real estate. Okay. But the notes that he gives in this book are super amazing. And I'm going to make it relative to us as leaders, as women of color, as mothers, as wives, as business owners. I'm going to make it relative. Okay. So in chapter 7, he talks about 4 degrees of action. And one thing that he says is, one question I've received, sorry guys, over the years is exactly how much action is necessary to create success. How much do I actually have to do? Now, I would laughably say this because I have folks who come and they're like, but how did you get your conference in Essence magazine? How'd you do that? What was the cheat code for that thing? And then they go look a little further. Hi, Nayana. Hey, everybody. Then they go and look a little bit further and they say, but this is your 6th Essence feature? The 6th, not one, right? This isn't the first. This is number 6. We just had a Parents Magazine contribution come out. Okay, so we've done Red Table Talk, Fox News, CNN, Forbes twice, Essence 6 times. So how much action is, y'all hope y'all get this, church. How much action is required to get that? Who do I need to become to get that? I just want to get one. Some people say, I just want to get one Essence. I just want to be able to put it on my website. Christina said, if I want every time they start talking about Black motherhood and doing the most as a mom, they think of me. I wanted that every time they think about Black motherhood and doing the most, Mamathon comes to mind. And so the gentleman who interviewed me, and we were talking about a Black family article for Parents Magazine. Hey, Mika. Right, for Parents Magazine. And I was like, listen, he said, what makes you an expert? And so I've been trained in advocacy, trained in national nonprofits for educational maternal advocacy. Okay, I've done more media work than you can. Coached hundreds of moms and have thousands in our community who are always coming and teaching me. You all teach me. But people come and they say, how much action is required to get that? Hey, Danielle, how much action is required to do this thing right here? And I'm like, but if I told you, if I even told you what was required, this is while I take naps. I took a nap today. I'll probably take one tomorrow. I go to bed on time. I lay on my husband. I am sexually active. I mind my own business. I'm losing weight. Right? We're going to live our life. We're going to live our life, but I still want to do these other things. How much action is required, Christina, to do that right there? Teach me that. And in reality, what we really want is the cheat code. We want the easy, the quick 1, 2, 3. Instead of leaning in and saying, you know what, who do I need to become in order to have this in a fluid way? I was telling a girlfriend of mine, and we're going to get to the 4 degrees of action. I was telling, we're talking about communication and relationships. And I was like, listen, I said, I've been married 18 years. Me and my husband really like each other. That's why we have 5 children. We really like each other. We enjoy each other's company. We put up with each other and with joy, right? Like we really love each other and like each other. And I was like, I still have to communicate my needs. I still have to tell him, hey, babe, last week I needed this, but this week I need something different. I just wanted to make sure you knew that, because that is openness, that's transparency, that's love. Even 20 years into the game, being with the same person, you still got to do it. That's the level of action in order to get, in this instance, a marriage that lasts. Okay, a marriage that lasts, that goes the distance. Okay, so he says, one question I've received over the years is exactly how much action is required to create success. Okay. One notation, yes, says, I'm very grateful. One notation that I would like to say is, you're going to have your own definition of success. What Christina says is amazing success is going to be different. Some of you guys have no desire whatsoever to homeschool your children. That's fine. Part of my definition of success is me being a homeschooling mom. Okay, is me being able to have my children with me and travel with them and do things with them and, have sleep in a couple mornings a week. And that's part of the Garrett family trajectory. That's part of success for us. Okay, so you got to ask yourself, what is success for you? And then make that assessment. Okay, some of us need to speed up, some need to slow down. You got to figure out where you are in that equation. Okay, so degrees of action. He says most people fail only because they are operating at the wrong degree of action. In order to simplify, we're going to break down your choices or your options into 4 simple categories. Number 1, do nothing. Number 2, retreat. Number 3, take normal levels of action. And then number 4, take massive action. Okay. Number 1, do nothing. Number 2, retreat. Number 3, be normal. Number 4, take massive levels of action. Okay. So we got our 4 degrees. The first degree is hilarious almost, the idea of doing nothing. You have a problem a challenge in your life. You're trying to figure something out. You're trying to work towards a goal. And some of us honestly feel like if I just keep existing, it's going to happen. It's just going to happen. Like, I don't have to do anything to bring it to life. I just believe if I just keep things exactly like they are, the world is going to open up for me. Okay. I remember, and I've shared this story before, maybe back in 2020 or something like that, when I first had the idea about me just wanting to get Essence one time. Like, I didn't always want that. I just knew in this particular season, right, as we went into the pandemic, and I knew how needed it was for us as women and with families especially. I remember getting the idea in my mind. I remember just having the nugget in my mind that it was something I wanted to see happen. Business goal of sorts. Yeah. And I remember talking about it on Facebook Live before it happened, saying, oh, y'all keep your eyes out. I'm going to do this thing. Okay. I remember saying that. And then I also remember being in a place where I realized if I didn't take some action, it was going to take them too long to find me. It was just going to take too long. Like, there's a goal you have, you want to accomplish it within this year. You want to, make it happen this year, all this kind of stuff. If this is the case, then maybe if you keep things like they are, it's going to take too long to happen. Okay. So level 1 of action is to do nothing at all, to just kind of chill your way through to, hopefulness, fingers crossed, wish me luck, that whole situation. I'm just waiting on it to happen. I'll also add, with the do nothing, it's let me just see what's going to happen. Let me just see. I'll think about it. That falls under the do nothing situation. Because 9 times out of 10, after you move on, you're going to get caught up in your life, and whatever decision you were thinking about making is just going to be swept under the rug. I have had ladies reach out for coaching, right, with areas in their life that they've described. They call it feeling like my life is on fire, feeling like I'm running from place to place, putting out fires. So what happens is they leave the conversation, they go back to their lives, and in that moment, that fire is out. The education fire, the school situation fire with their kid, the I'm thinking about homeschooling fire, the business fire, the marriage fire, whichever one, that fire is out for the moment. So they don't have any need or requirement to do anything about it. So it just stays there until a fire sprouts up again. And hopefully they have the tools, right, to put the fire out. But a lot of us look at the fire and we just say, this is just a part of me existing. This is just a part of me living my life. This is just what happens. Of course, moms are overwhelmed. Like, isn't that being a mom? Of course, I'm exhausted beyond measure. Isn't that just how it is? Of course, I'm working on this business and it's so hard, and I'm just, going through the entrepreneur struggle, or I'm doing da-da-da. That's just how it is. And we assume that this is just my life. This is what's supposed to be. It's normal to feel like you don't have time. It's normal to feel like your capacity is stretched. It's normal to feel angry because you're maxed out or overstimulated. Isn't this just what happens? So we do nothing. Okay. Number 2 type of action or level of action, we retreat. Now, everybody listen to me closely. Okay. This is what Grant Cardone says, but I'm going to bring it home for all of us. Grant says retreaters are those who take actions in reverse, probably in order to avoid negative experiences that they imagine will come as a result of taking action. The retreater personifies the fear of success phenomenon. Now, let me pivot the light a little bit. Okay, let me just shine the light in a slightly different way. I encounter many women who are retreaters. Okay, it happens when you pray about a situation, you're really excited. Okay, you're really excited. Thanks for taking notes, Janisha. You're really excited about what's coming. You started to do the work, right? You starting to see the results popping up from this level of effort that you've been putting in. Oh my goodness, it's so exciting. Look at all these amazing things that are happening. My business is picking up and my kids are doing this. Oh, we're starting to homeschool. Oh, we're starting this. I really see the momentum being created. And then something flags you. It's like flag on the play. And then you begin to get concerned about your capacity. I don't know if I have the capacity for that. What if me choosing to do this business idea or this plan or this thing means now I'm a bad mom? I'm no longer available to my children like I used to be. We begin to worry about the days when we struggle with depression or overwhelm. I felt like I was drowning. What if I start to feel like I'm drowning again? What's going to happen? So even though I know that this is a great idea, this is a God idea, even though I know that the time is now when I'm the woman, I'm the woman for the job, maybe I should just take the summer off. Maybe I should wait until the new year. Maybe I should start the home, continue with homeschooling. I'll work on that business thing in 3 months, in 6 months, in a year. All of these are a form of retreating. All of these are forms of procrastination. All of them are ways that we have our foot on the gas and we know we have something that works. But I'm so worried about what's going to come after the working, after the result starts to show up, that I got to ease back. I've had clients ease back. I've had clients say, you know what, I'm a little worried about all of this fruit popping up at one time. And we have to coach through that season. That, you control like how much you do, right? You control how many clients you take on. You control when you finish that dissertation. You control how many classes you take as you work towards your doctorate. You control how fast your business grows. You do know you control that, right? And they had to step back into that ownership, that feeling of, oh yeah, I do have that possibility. Thank you. So Janisha says, retreaters pray and start with excitement. Then a distraction comes along, causing them to second guess their actions. Mom guilt, overwhelm, depression. So even though it's a God idea, the smallest distractions can cause us to retreat. So we have the do nothing people, where you just know some kind of way it's going to pop up, show up, get fixed. Okay. We have the retreaters, who start off in the right direction and then something happens that makes them pull back. Okay. The third degree of action is to be normal. The third degree of action is to take normal action, where you have a normal life, normal marriage, normal career, normal ministry, normal amount of money you fundraise in your nonprofit, normal amount of attendees at a first time event, normal amount of money for you being your second year in business or third year in business. Normal, normal, normal. Normal degrees of action produce normal results. Okay? And so he says, some members of this group may almost never create anything in exceptional qualities because the goal here is average. Average marriage, average health, average career, average finances. As long as average works, they're fine with it. And I had to say to myself, I want to be above average. I've had folks come to me and they're like, Christina, I promise you, every time I turn the internet on, you're there. Every time I come to the internet, I see you. I'm like, well, of course, because we got to do the most because we have really big goals this year. I have big goals for the conference. Big partnership options. Big attendee numbers. Creating new problems in the best way. I'm like, and I've been talking about this ongoing creating new problems because you have to be okay with it. You have to be settled into new problems mean I'm moving in the right direction. Okay. So we have to be willing to exit average. All right. So average by definition assumes less than ordinary. It is truly to some degree or another just an alternative description of retreat and no action. Be honest with yourself. Do you have more energy and creativity than what you are using? Okay. Who really desires to just be average? Imagine that the products and services we're often tempted to buy use average in their description or in their advertising. Who even wants that product? There are ladies who they come to the conference and they say, I've been looking for my people for years. I've been looking for years. I never came into a room that felt like it was so welcoming and so gracious and filled with so much love. And that's in one part because of who God is and who I am. I just love people, right? I love women. I love mamas. I love ladies with goals. I just love it. But then I also think of all these places where I've tried to do above and beyond, okay, so that we have more than just an average review, okay? Taking normal action is the most dangerous of the levels because it is most accepted by society. The idea of doing the most is looked at and viewed almost as ludicrous. What? You're doing more than you have to do? You're doing excessive? Are you willing? And I was telling my girlfriend last night, we went and had dinner. And I was like, I have to be willing to do it by any means necessary. Not illegal or like anything wild, but like, I have this goal and I will reach this goal. I will reach my finish line. Now, whatever your finish line is may be different than mine. That's okay. But are you willing to take above average action in order to get there? Okay. The fourth degree of action is massive action. Okay. It was nonstop massive action except when I was asleep. He said, like most kids, I did all out all the time with people frowning and hinting that maybe I should bring it down a notch or two. Has that happened to you? And have you even done it to your own children? And so then he talks about his wake-up calls where massive action is actually the level. Oh, this is good because I just said this. Excuse me. Massive action is actually the level of action that creates new problems. And until you create problems, you're not truly operating at the fourth stage of action. Here's how I knew we were sliding into level 4 massive action for Mamathon. Okay. This started to happen when last year at the event, we took a lunch break. Okay. Some ladies went to go and drive other places to go get food, but there's a restaurant in the hotel. So a lot of the ladies went upstairs to go get lunch. Here it is, 2:30, 3 o'clock. We're supposed to be getting ready to start our afternoon sessions. And there's like 40 people missing. And we're like, what's going on? Like, why is it that everybody's not back downstairs yet? It's been over an hour. And come to find out, I have a pin in my hair. Come to find out, we overwhelmed the upstairs restaurant. They were not expecting to have 40, 50 women come upstairs all at once, order salmon salads and wings and fries and all this kind of stuff. They went upstairs and bombarded, overwhelmed the restaurant. I've never had that issue before because we were at that same site the year before. So by me taking more action in 2023, it resulted in creating new problems. And so this year, and it happened twice really, because when we went and ate and we kind of did like a mixer, like just met up at the hotel restaurant for Friday night, and they didn't have enough space for all of the ladies for Friday night either. So that was a new problem. These were new problems that were created. How did we solve these problems for this year? Okay. So for example, we're hosting a networking mixer on Friday night with dinner. Okay. Then Saturday, instead of serving breakfast in the morning, we're going to serve lunch on Saturday afternoon and dinner on Saturday night and brunch on Sunday morning. It is the most. Absolutely the most. But that was a way that we created new problems. The only way that you know you're taking massive action is when the circumstances, the situations, the things that are pulling on you look completely different than they used to. Some of us need to slow down. We feel in our bodies, in our shoulders, and in our chest, like we just know we're overdoing it. I always challenge us to say instead, what do I need to drop off or leave out so that the things I am pouring myself into are far more fruitful? So as a leader, I'm doing more connecting with different companies and organizations and partnerships for this year, right? We're looking at our attendee experience. How do we make it more seamless? Hey, and flow in better ways. We're working on creating new problems and solving them. I had to get more accustomed to looking at big budgets and saying, wow, this is what the next level looks like. I'm talking about multi-5-figure food and beverage. and just soaking it in like, oh girl, you're doing it. So the question is always, what degree of action are you taking? Are you doing nothing where you're just hoping that it's going to come together? Are you listening to the words of others who tell you, I need you to slow down, instead of pivoting and prioritizing? Maybe you don't have to toss that goal away and say it's for next year. Maybe you just got to reassess what the schedule's looking like. Unplugging on time. Saying I'm going to turn everything off on time. Saying I'm going to lean into who I said I was going to be, but then also rest and also go on date nights with your spouse. Some of us need to take more massive action in our marriages. I see far too many people talking about prioritizing self. And they very discreetly slide their wedding rings off. They very discreetly talk about, oh, I'm doing this and I'm traveling here and I'm doing all these things and you only live once and all this kind of stuff. And then they slowly begin to sow the seeds of me, 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 me. Nuh-uh. We don't do that here. And this is not an indictment on anybody who makes altered, like you live your life the way that you want to, but let's not tell a story that I prioritized and I really didn't. Let's not tell the story I tried to sit and listen to my kids, but your kids come and tell you that you don't listen. Maybe I'm telling myself a false story. Maybe I'm telling myself I'm easy to talk to and I don't have an attitude, but everybody in your life tells you the opposite. Maybe they're not all the person that needs the work. Let's be honest. Let's sit in it. If everybody in my universe is telling me something, it can't be the story of, oh, what if it costs me, my piece is too expensive, I need to move it from my life. No. The only good things in life come through relationships and prioritizing people. Everything else that's good in life comes after that. And so what we'll do sometimes is we will tell ourselves, I'm taking massive action. I'm doing everything that I could do to make this thing happen, to make my marriage better, to be a better mom, to take better care of my body, to lean into all these, to pursue my goal. I'll tell myself I'm doing that. But inside, inside, this is just your own personal conviction. It's hard to lie to yourself. Some of us do it. We say I do eat healthy as you eat the French fries. But we tell ourselves, I'm doing all I could do. We tell ourselves, I just need to focus on my kids right now, knowing good and well them kids are fine. You put all your attention, all your esteem into the children and very little bit into seeing where you are and expanding on those goals and that vision. The kids are good. So we have to make the assessments. Okay, we got to do some investigating and make sure that the places in our lives where we are not paying attention and not attentive and not looking at it. Don't lie to yourself. Don't tell yourself I'm doing all I can. And the answer deep down inside, for real, is not a yes. It's not true. Deep down in your heart that you're retreating. And we tell ourselves, I'm researching. We tell ourselves I'm thinking about it. We're telling ourselves I'm just mapping out my plan. I'm journaling. We tell ourselves a whole lot of other things other than, I'm actually procrastinating. Because I'm nervous about what the outcome is going to be. I'm actually really afraid. Like this year, a new, not challenge, but like a new way of serving my community that I'm going to be doing this year is when we open up the group program again, right? The mastermind in November after the conference is going to open up. Y'all have been warned. And I'm looking at bringing together one-to-one coaching, having a group container, having a live event for just my clients, right? Like in the past, the conference has been my only live event, but now I'm looking at, I want to host a conference, a retreat for just my clients, right? For those who've been under my coaching for months and months. Like now I'm looking at how to bring all those things together, creating new problems. Okay. And then also stretching my own capacity to have the best of both worlds for everyone. But I get to kind of sit in, this is what massive action will look like for me in 2025. Yeah, of course I have the bandwidth. Of course I have the energy. I have the capacity. I got it. And to go from that place and really lean into that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. But you got to ask yourself, you have to do your own homework and say, am I taking the level of action that I say I am? Am I actually being for real? Am I actually doing what I said I was going to do? Because very often we are telling ourselves I'm taking massive action, and in reality, we might be doing nothing. Or in reality, we might be chilling 4 days out of the week and then taking normal action on the other 3 days and saying that that's enough. And in this current society, in this current, what God wants from us, that's not gonna cut it. Now I do want to emphasize though that we do all things well. We do them with excellence. We do them by setting our own pace and not just running after stuff in this frantic, whatever I can do, throw stuff until it hits the wall dynamic. So every day I know exactly what I'm working on. Good evening. I know exactly what I'm working on. I know what needs to happen. I'm going to go to bed on time. I'm going to make sure I work out multiple days a week. Like, I'm going to make sure that as I move towards October, as I move towards the mastermind opening up in November, as I move towards all these things, I'm still going to take a nap. I'm still going to make sure that I get my rest, that I lay on my husband and we do date nights and I unplug at a certain time. Okay. So we have to make sure that we're moving forward, but with our priorities in tow. Okay. So 4 types of action: to do nothing, hope for the best; to retreat, where we started moving in that direction and creating momentum, but we decided to pull back because we weren't really sure what was going to happen, or we have fear of success, fear of what if it actually works. Number 3 is to take normal action. That is what is always applauded by society, is doing enough to have an average life. And then we have massive action. And the only way you know that you're creating or doing massive action is when you start to create new problems. Okay. You actually start to see in your life ways that, things that you're coming up against, you've never come up against before. For me, it's having the attendees or the level of attendees, the type of women who are coming into the conference room this year. I'm talking about doctors, attorneys, community founders, nonprofit leaders, like doctors, they multiple therapists, like that level of brilliance in one room, and I get to help facilitate conversations there, is next level. Okay. So I just want for us to think about, like, the only way you know you're taking massive action is if you're creating new problems. If you still got the same problems, friend, then it's possible that you're not taking massive action. Last year, I looked, I said, oh, we have too many attendees to sit in the restaurant. We have too many. That's a new problem. So now let's solve it through how we're doing food this year and how we're doing our setup and our attendee experience and all this kind of stuff. It has to be better. It has to be the next level. It has to. You got to create new problems if you're taking massive action. Okay. Now I will close with 2 calls to action for you all to think on. All right. Number 1, baby, the Mom-entum conference is coming October 25th through the 27th in Atlanta, Georgia. If you want to come, DM me. Okay. There are some really amazing things that are happening, but I always call it God magic, like this Holy Spirit driven work that I, Christina, can't put my entire finger on all of it. Like, there are things that happen that are out of my control, because everybody that comes into the conference room comes for a different reason. Some people are burned out. I feel like I've been doing all the things. I'm trying to figure it out. Some ladies are looking for their how. Okay, I have this idea, but how do I do it? Maybe if I see Christina in the room, she'll answer the question for me, which I will. Some of us are looking for our community. We've been hiking through life so long without people that value what we value. Some of us are struggling in our marriages or in our parenthood, all of that. So the conference seeks to give you next level tools and strategies to meet you there. If you are married, single, no kids, you can come. If you're a single mom with some children running around, don't bring them with you now, because we don't do kids at the conference, but you are welcome. If you're a single mom, if you're married with more children than you have hands, you are welcome. If you're just a sis who loves the Lord and you're about your business, come and join us. Okay. So it's October 25th through the 27th in Atlanta. run to my DMs after this is over. I'm in the blessing business. Okay. So I'd love to provide you with a discount code so you can come in, join us in Atlanta. I promise you it's going to change your life. It's like Black church meets an HBCU homecoming. We start with worship and we end with two-stepping and live music at night. Like it's just such a beautiful experience. And so you are so welcome, and the event won't be the same without you there. Okay. Everyone brings a unique gift into the room, and we want you to be there. All right. So that's number one. Next month, last weekend of the month, come and turn up with us in the A. Okay. So that's number one. Number two, there are some ladies who are listening who you're listening to the Degrees of Action, and you're trying to find out, where do I fit in between waiting for something to happen? Then on the other side, I just do too much. Okay. Whenever I get excited or passionate or I'm all in, I run in the other direction, overworking, overwhelming myself, overbooking myself, trying to make sure I get to my finish line. Some of us are trying to figure out the happy medium of loving our families, loving our work, trying to take care of ourselves, and manage all of our responsibilities well. And then some of us have a little bit of imposter syndrome, okay, where we procrastinate, or we people please, or we try to get things just perfect before we release it into the world. Or we've been working on that same idea, that same thing for so long, and we haven't quite slid yet into, good evening, we haven't quite slid yet into massive action where we're creating new problems, okay? And so if you're one of those ladies, if you're one of those really brilliant, remarkable women, you know you're a leader, you love your work, you love your business, you love these ideas that you're creating, but you're like, Christina, this is taking too long. And I'm working too many hours. My kids are pulling on my coattails. They're saying, Mama, we need this. My husband's pulling on me. He's saying, baby, I need this. Where I'm not logging off at the time I need to log off. I feel like my brain is always on and working, not just during a busy season, right? Like busy seasons are one thing. I am in a busy season now as we prepare for next month. But then I'm going to still, after this is over, I'm going to go lay down. Okay, I'm going to go rest. I'm going to go recuperate for tomorrow, so I can be on deck as a mom and as a leader and doing some follow-ups and all of this really great stuff. Okay. So you yourself know if you're taking the level of action that you want to, and I might be in your life to help you speed up strategically or help you slow down strategically, to be able to move away from feeling like I have to do all the things and continuously create and do. I am not someone that's about to crank you into hyper gear. Instead, we create a strategy, we create a plan that works for you and for your season of life, so that you can go on and scale your business to what you want it to be. So you can go ahead and start that nonprofit and get it funded, or be in Essence Magazine or whatever media boo is your dream, or you want to be a thought leader on television, or you want to be in Forbes, or you want to just continue to love your career and just rest more and take better care of yourself while you do it. We help next level women with next level strategy. Okay. So after this is over, slide in my messenger. Say, hey, Christina, I'm looking for mastering my how, and I want to be able to do my idea sustainably. I don't want to feel like the house of cards is going to fall over any minute. I don't want to feel like I'm overwhelmed and I'm always trying to move the pieces around to make it work. Like, this is not, it's okay to say it's not working. That's very humbling to say where I am right now isn't working, and then to actively go and grab the support. Now, here's something I will say also. What we do a lot of times, and I've seen multiple ladies do this, is we go to our wonderful, my husband is like my main thing. Okay. I run all kind of things by him. But sometimes I would expect for him to see into my brain at the level that I see into my brain. So if I'm overwhelmed or frustrated or whatever the things are, I expect for him to see it as is, even though he has a completely different thought process than I do. Just the same as when he talks to a pastor friend who's also a bivocational pastor and is a busy dad and busy husband and has similar church size or challenges or whatever, when he talks to them, he gets a completely different experience than when he talks to me about it. Because I might say, babe, you need to call a meeting and do boom, 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 boom. And his pastor friend or mentor will say, you know what? This is how you should handle this situation. This is what I did, and it worked out very well. Two completely different life experiences that come from a conversation. Okay. So I want us to think about, as we go to talk to our friends who often are in the same situation, or we talk to our spouse and he's like, babe, you can talk to me, but how do you talk to him about him? Right? And how you're trying to figure some things out, and maybe some areas where you don't feel fulfilled, or you're trying to figure some stuff out. It's okay. Wherever you are, I want to invite you to bring it to the consultation. Bring it to the consultation. You'll have my ear for 45 minutes. And you can empty out, Christina, this is where I see myself going. This is what I desire to create. This is what I feel like is slowing me down. Like, why is this happening? This is what I feel like I'm doing that's not working right now. But if I could have whatever I wanted, if I could wave a magic wand and create this thing, this is what I would create. And we let those magic wand moments become what we focus on for 6 months, or what we focus on for an entire year together. Okay. We walk you through to the finish line. My goals are national partnerships and with Essence, right? And a lot of other goals. And we've done all of that and so much more. Every time you guys see the group photos from the conference from one year to the next year to the next year, I can't wait to see the group photo this year. It's going to be lit. But it is me every year signing up to cross my own finish line and committing on purpose to being the woman that does it. And maybe you're in that place now too, where you're like, okay, Christina, I know it's not my business plan because my business plan works. I know it's not lack of education because I'm educated. I know it's not lack of this being a good idea because I know other people are succeeding at something similar. So that's not what the issue is. What is the issue? That's where our work is. Okay. So if that's you, I want you to slide in my DMs after this is over. Say, hey, Christina, I'm ready. I want to talk about coaching. It's September. So I would love if you come and you say, you know what, I want to sign up. I want to do 6 months of coaching, right? That maybe we can slide you into the mastermind also, which starts in January. You get to benefit from group and one-on-one if you come quickly. Okay. But I want to make sure that you all feel supported, loved on, encouraged, that whatever level of action you're taking right now, some of us need to speed up. Some of us need to slow down. Until we talk, you and I don't know which one that is. So you got to use your Holy Ghost intuition and what God is saying to you in this current season to determine which one that is right now. If you're being complacent, or if you feel like, Christina, I'm a hamster on the wheel and I'm going, and I feel like I just can't slow down. I can't get off of it. Only you know which one, where you are in this process. Okay. But I absolutely invite you to connect with me and share, okay, where you are. And let's go some places together. All right. So that's it for tonight. Number one, DM me conference if you're available October 25th through the 27th to join us in Atlanta for our event. And then number two, if you know that you want to create bigger results, you want to earn more, rest more, and be more consistent before the new year comes in, and you want to opt out of your own excuses and turn up the heat, then I will be honored to partner with you. Okay? That's it for tonight, everybody. I love you guys dearly. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. I'm so glad I did this. And tomorrow's Monday. What I gotta do tomorrow? Maybe we can lunch and learn tomorrow. But yeah, just turn your notifications on. Okay? Y'all hear me? Turn on your group notifications. Turn on, if you're following me on the Mamathon Diaries or public, just turn your stuff on so that when I go live, y'all get some information. Okay? All right. I love you guys so much, and I will check with you all tomorrow. Good night.